Sometimes on the farmstead, folks, you end up doing things for your kids, and that's a wonderful thing. This is one of those kind of projects. We actually have some neighbors that have some lakefront property, and I wouldn't say a massive house, but again, another larger kind of, homeschool type family, which is just wonderful to see in our area. But one of the ways that they've made it work with their family is having a couple clubhouses. Clubhouses to them are an external building where the kids can kind of get out of the house and learn to be kids outdoors. So we decided that, on the farm here that, maybe we'd be interested in something like that. And our girls decided to raise some money. They sold some goats. They went to auction and fair and got enough money to build a clubhouse. Here's the shell of it after it's arrived, and I've put it on a pad and I've graveled it for them. They footed the money for the shell. Took a lot of their kind of funds to do it, and then from here we're gonna help them out on it, because inside it's kind of a bare bones slate. Obviously, for cosmetic reasons, we kept it like a farm. One of the first things I did is took one of my LED lights and hooked it up to a Pecco thermometer gauge. So this thing is kind of nice. When the temperature gets to a certain point, too low, it turns on. And what I plan to do is, once I have this thing in line, is to run one of these little heaters in here, little fireplace heater. You can get these things for $100 at Menards. They got a little digital input, and they hold their temperature pretty good, and they only chew up like 1,500 watts to run, these little infrared little devils. So, and they're quite cosmetic. So that was the first purchase for the kids. We've kind of got a plan for how this little clubhouse will look, and want to keep it a little bit old school and rustic. So, the next step was to kind of finish the outside. Again, I put some gravel around it, which I'm sure will settle here as winter comes. We threw some pavers down. And on the one side, I'm up against one of my buck barns, and we're going to throw a gutter on it. So we put together a gutter quite quickly, so we can control water on that one side. That will really help. Once we had the pavers in and the gutter on, then the kids, they want to go to work inside on this. And it is going to be a kids project. Mom and dad will be with them all the time getting it done. But pretty much here for the next month or so, we're gonna work on this clubhouse and turn it into something that they can come into and play with and enjoy. It'll be an electronics free zone, but it will have electricity. It'll have sleeping quarters in it. It'll have heat. It'll have intercomability to the main farmhouse, and they can come out here and read and relax and play and enjoy. It came with half a loft. That's kind of the way that the old hickory buildings can come, which is nice. It's got a kind of funny beam in the middle of the other half. I think I'm going to reroute that and change that. It's got basically like a synthetic wood wall material with like a vapor type barrier for radiant heat on the inside. And one of the first things I did was drill some holes so that the kids can run some wire. On the farm, I've got mostly UF wire, just because of how we have to do things with barns. So I'm going to use that up and run some outlets for them and run a couple LED lights in here so it lights up halfway decent. The kids, they've done some wiring with me in the past, and this will probably be the biggest project that they've wired up on their own. But I think my kids are up for it. 10, 12, and 14 years of age, so they're pretty much ready. Obviously, the 5-year-old and 1-year-old probably not going to assist too much with that kind of stuff. But hopefully, we'll even get the fellow neighbors out here with their kids, and maybe we'll even have some painting parties and stuff when they get to that point. So as my daughter is kind of learning how to wire this thing up, she's putting it through. One thing I noticed right away is these are all, 2x4 construction kind of buildings, these old hickories. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it makes me a little nervous when I put up some plywood or something here on the walls that I don't hit this wire. So I'm going to probably put guards, stud guards on top of all that wire just to make it, safe. Otherwise, it actually went pretty good for the ground floor. I think they want like 4 outlets and a switch for the lights. And we'll put a little outdoor light on it so they can see coming in and out of it at night. Obviously, with no bathroom in it, they either got to use the great outdoors or come back to the farmhouse. So I think it'll work. I think it'll work really nice. As far as the loft goes here, I want to extend it. I actually want to make it a little better. I'll probably even put a ceiling in this if the kids are willing to kind of spend the money on it. You talk about spending money, kids spend money on all sorts of what I would call silly and stupid things. Internet, video games, different types of movies and TV shows and stuff. My kids spent quite a bit on this, actually, and I feel like this may be something that they should spend their money on, something that they can all use together, and it'll be a very nice project for them. Stairs was a little tricky. I kind of wanted stairs, but we didn't want to give up all that floor space, so we took some 2x10s that we had on the farm, and I had to buy a couple 2x10s for the in-between pieces there for the runs, and we tried to make ourselves like a big ladder that they could walk on and come up. My son here is trying to help the best he can with that. They got the ladder together. I'm going to add some 2x4 bracing just to try to make it stronger, because when they got it together, it's just being held by the screws. This way it'll put weight down on this other 2x4 and give it some more strength. Overall, I think the start of this project is going well. At this point, we've pretty much got the rough wiring in, and we've got the ladder in, and we'll get some spray foam in, and we'll spray it up, and that'll give us some insulation, and then hopefully we'll plywood up the walls, and like I said, we'll have a painting party, and it should look real nice. I appreciate you guys following along. This is going to be kind of a fun project. There'll probably be about 2, maybe 3 videos on it. Again, it's a clubhouse. It's a clubhouse for our kids. It gives them a little extension into the area of quiet time. So appreciate you watching, folks. Please like and follow along as we continue to build the clubhouse.